healthy. Dr. Doug Sharpen here. What's healthy? We are. I just returned from one of the most phenomenal vacations that I have ever taken. In fact, it was kind of funny because my husband is always wanting to go somewhere cold because he's always hot. And me, I always like to go places that are warm. And he's like, we're ridiculous. In the summer, we go to somewhere hot. In the winter, we should try somewhere cold. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. But I caved in and we went to Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And I'm telling you, it was amazing. And I just wanted to share some of the reflections that I have on that trip and looking back and how I think healthy it was for us, especially coming down from this COVID pandemic, especially being a healthcare professional and the stress that we have been through, along with everybody else on the planet, but the added stress that it has added to our practice and to my patients and to my personal life. And so it was really pretty incredible. We did a lot of things that I normally would not do, like go on snowmobiles and go horseback riding in the snow, in the mountains. And for those of you who have been following me and then know me, I am afraid of heights. I even went on gondolas. I even had to convince my husband to go again on a gondola to the very top of the mountain because it was so beautiful and peaceful, where it used to cause me all kinds of stress and anxiety. It was calming and soothing, and it was just, I don't know, it was amazing. And I wanted to share that with you. Let's talk about snowmobiling. First of all, I am not a junkie for speed and a junkie, adrenaline junkie, I guess you would call it. I am not one of those. I didn't think. And my husband will laugh when he listens to this because he says, "You're one of the biggest adrenaline junkies I know. I love to, get on the back of his motorcycle and go fast." At least before a child, I used to love to do that. Snowmobiling, at first I was like, "Oh, I'll just go on the back of your snowmobile and take pictures and just relax and enjoy." And then about halfway through after lunch, we were like, "Yeah, you know what? Let me drive." So I'm driving and I'm going as fast as I can. And then they brought us to this big open field where they said, "You know what? Just go." So I went around twice with my husband and I feel this tap on my shoulder and he's like, "Pull over, pull over." So I pull over. He's like, "I don't want to get on the back of this snowmobile with you anymore. You go have fun. You're going fast." So he stood on the side and I tore it up, and it was just like the wind in my hair, and it was just restful and relaxing and amazing and exhilarating all at once. And breathing in that cold, fresh air, I don't know how to explain it. It was just so unbelievable and incredible. Then a couple days later, we decided, hey, let's go horseback riding. So I thought, ooh, yeah, okay, we're going to go through fields. Well, little did I know, we actually went up mountains and we had steep cliffs right there. And I don't know about you, but horses, they're hard to control if you're not used to controlling them. And all they want is to be told what to do. But keep your hand here and keep this one here. And when you want to turn, go like this and go like that. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be crazy. And we actually had some pretty interesting things, exciting things happen. Our trail guide, she said to us, yeah, that was a little sketchy there for a while because we had just had between 10 and 12 inches of snow, fresh snow. So there were no trails, but their horses knew where the trails were. So they just wanted to go to the trails where we were trying to find the trails. They would go. So we're right on the edge of these cliffs. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go over this cliff. But at the same time, I thought, you know what? I've got to give this up. I've got to give it up and just trust that my horse knows where to go and that I'm going to tell my horse what to do and be really solid in that. My horse's name was Huey. He was the coolest little horse ever. And I had a coming to Jesus meeting with him. I sat down on him. I said, listen, Huey, I'm the boss of you, and I'm going to be really good and not yank on you and just try to guide you, but make sure you get me back safe. And we had such an incredible ride where one of the other women, her horse decided he was going crazy, and off he went right around all those mountains, and she couldn't stop him. And the leader was like, pull back on the reins, pull back on the reins. And we're all kind of giggling because we've all been there at some point in time where, we wanted to control something and we didn't know how to control something, whether it was your health or a marriage or a parent or a sibling or whatever it was. We try to control things and we couldn't. And she really could not control this animal. She finally got control once our lead guide got to her and got her to slow it down. But it was pretty incredible. And we had this amazing snow. It was just sparkling. I learned about champagne snow, and they called this snow white gold because everywhere you looked, it was this beautiful white, sparkly snow everywhere. When it's fresh, there was no snowmobile marks. There was no animal marks, so very few. I think we saw a couple of deer trails, and I wanted to see a bear trail, and she laughed at me. She said they're hibernating. There's going to be no bears, but there was a couple little animal trails. It was really just unbelievable, and being out in the mountain and being able to take a deep breath in and that fresh, cold, crisp air and just kind of being one with nature where I live in Atlanta. In Atlanta there is cement and cars and people and buildings everywhere, and I know that there's lakes and some trees and some trails, but it's not like this out in Colorado. It was just gosh, just better than my wildest dreams. And I had been to Colorado actually when I was a kid. It was summer, so it was a different amazingness about it. But it was just, I don't know, relaxation I think is key, and balance is key, and taking a break and really just disconnecting. I didn't even have my phone out. My husband was like, "Oh my gosh, you're always texting your patients back or going and checking on your patients and looking in your portal and making sure everyone's okay." I even disconnected that way, and it was pretty amazing. I wanted to talk about another thing called mineral hot springs, and we went to Strawberry Hot Springs, and it was a hot spring and there was different temperatures. It was almost like a pool, but it was natural. And then there was a cold one right next to it, and it was freezing cold. And they said, "Well, go 15 minutes into the heat and then dip into the cold for 3 or 4 minutes and then back into the heat." And I thought, "You are crazy." But you know what? I did it, and it was unbelievable. And then I thought, I just want to go back and forth and back and forth. And I was there for an hour and a half in those springs, and I really desperately wanted to go back because, gosh, I slept so soundly and amazingly that night. And I sleep good normally. My hormones are balanced. My adrenals are great. I fall asleep like that. I sleep through the night, don't wake up. But gosh, there was just this feeling of peace that I had that night. And it's just hard to describe it. There's tons and tons of different minerals in there, right? There's magnesium, there's silica, there's calcium, calcium carbonate, potassium, all kinds of different things. And it helps with pain relief and energy and sleep and all kinds of different things, relaxation. And what people forget is your skin is the largest organ in your body. And so we're absorbing all of those minerals through our skin, and there's no, crap in it because it's coming down and it's all natural and it's not contaminated. So it's just kind of a really cool experience. So if you ever have an opportunity to do that, you should do that. I am counting the days till we can go back next winter, so that we can do it. Another thing I want to talk about is length of vacations. I used to just take long weekend vacations. I would go for 3 days, 4 days, go here, go there, Florida, Amelia Island, Jekyll Island, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama. Sometimes I would go a little bit farther up to Connecticut, where I'm from, New York City. And, we would be in and out. And I would be way more tired by the time I came home. I would have a great time, but then I was exhausted and I needed a vacation from my vacation. I learned a few years ago when my family and I and my in-laws took us all on this unbelievable trip of a lifetime to France. And we took this river cruise, and we had to go away for 17 days. And I have a home and a practice and patience, and I like to control everything and make sure everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I didn't have that peace of mind, but I did it anyway. And what I learned was the first 7 days, 8 days that we were there, I was trying to figure out how to relax. Then the next, 8 or 9 days, whatever it was that we were there, I actually was relaxed and could enjoy the amazing food. And I don't know if you've been to Europe, for those of you who haven't, but their food is not genetically modified, most of it. It's starting a little bit, but they don't use the pesticides, the herbicides, the insecticides. There's so many more stringent rules on their food and their water and their air quality. that when you go there, you can actually be really healthy. And even if you want some bread, it's still a healthy choice, way healthier than the bread that we have here in our country because of how modified our wheat is and our grains are and our corn is. So you can have this amazing experience. And, I learned that these longer vacations really are beneficial to your health. So my family and I were gone this time for 8 days, and then we had 2 more days at home to relax and recover. And honestly, I got home, I felt amazing. I didn't even feel like I needed to relax that much. So we just continued our vacation at home. We got home, and then the very next night, we went with some friends axe throwing, right? Who'd have thunk it? It was so much fun. And it was actually really kind of physically strenuous. Your shoulders, right? You can do one handed, you can do two handed. But the next day, I thought, oh my gosh, my shoulders are sore. I'm a little sore here. My neck is a little bit sore. My core was a little bit sore. I used muscles that I didn't even realize I had when we went axe throwing. And it was just a time that we came home. We were all our clothes were clean because we were able to wash everything before we left Colorado. We came home to a clean home and our puppies, and we just relaxed and enjoyed our friends the next day. Then on that Sunday, we went for brunch. We went to this amazing restaurant that we picked, and it was a farm to table restaurant. It was so good, where they really tried to take the food and get it from farms that are close by to support local business. But then you're getting veggies and fruits that are in season and meats that are highly processed, like you get from the commercial stuff. And I do want to talk about that a little bit too, because I have a lot of patients that do wellness programs with me and learn how to change their lifestyle so they can have a whole lifetime of health. But they look at me and they go, oh my gosh, Dr. Deb, I'm going on vacation. What am I going to do? And I said to them, look, let's talk through it. I can help you look at restaurants in the city that you're going to be in. We can look at the menus. We can make better choices. We can choose better restaurants. And, it really makes a big difference. So out in Colorado, it was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Many, many of their restaurants are farm to table. We even went to this unbelievable steakhouse, Chop House, our last night that we were there. And they own a farm in Kansas. So they raise all their own cattle, and it's grass fed, grass finished. And then that's the meat that they serve at their chop house in Steamboat Springs. So we had fresh in season veggies and fruits right from the local region whenever possible. We had this unbelievable meat that was locally sourced. And it was an easy way. In fact, I lost 2 pounds. I came home 2 pounds lighter than I went there, and I did not change how I was eating. I even had a little wine and, a couple of margaritas and enjoyed myself. And it was just unbelievable. But you can go on vacation. You can relax. You can bring balance into your life. You can have time for yourself, and that balance is key. You can have your family time. You have to have somebody that you trust that can handle stuff at home for you, which I am so blessed and grateful that my office manager is that person, and my girlfriend takes care of my pups for us. So we don't worry about a thing. We go, I think my circulation is better. My weight was even down. My sleep was better. My stress was down. And I came home, I believe, a better mom, a better sister, a better daughter, a better doctor, and a better boss. And I really, if you take nothing else from this, I want you to take away that balance is key, that you can do the things that you love to do, and you can be healthy doing it, and you can have just that overall optimal health, feel amazing, feel good, and continue to better impact your society, your community, people around you, your friends, and your family. So I hope that each and every one of you get a break this spring, get a break this summer, get a break this fall and in the winter, and can go and find something that you love, do something you enjoy, do something different, like axe throwing, like snowmobiling, like water skiing, whatever it is that maybe scares you a little bit. Go on a gondola, go skiing. I don't know what that is for you, but do it. It's exhilarating. You feel a little bit younger, feel a little bit more like you can conquer the world. And I think it just naturally boosts your immunity. You feel better, you look better, and you will have so much more quality in your life. So I hope this helps. Get away, travel, even have a staycation. You can do that too. And if you have any questions, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. So until next time, wishing you loads and loads of love and light and health and happiness. Bye bye.